I'm Daemonxel, and this is your EEchoes Community News Update, where we take a deep dive into all the happenings week. But first, if you can tag that subscribe button, ring that bell, share and like the video, then of course, you'll stay up to date with everything we do here on the channel. Now, we do have a lot to get into because a lot has happened over the last week. First of all, I want to say I hope everyone had a fantastic holiday, no matter which holiday you celebrate. I hope you had a great time with your friends and family and everything non-Eve related. But since this is Eve news, let's get right into it. But there is a correction from last week. Now, when I started talking about the war in Fountain, that's RETC and Myth versus Boop, I did say it was Das Boop. Now, I have been mistaken. It's just the alliance named Boop. Das Boop itself is a coalition of many alliances within Fountain, including Boop, Beer, and I believe a few others. So this war that's currently going on is against the alliance of Boop, and whoever comes to their aid against RETC, the single corporation, as well as the alliance of Myth. And since we are talking about the war in Fountain, let's start off there. Now, since I did the war update, I've had several people from Boop, come to me. They wanted to set the record straight. First of all, they say that I'm only reporting on what Myth and RETC is doing and not acknowledging the work that Boop is putting in. Some even go far, and it's an old tune, but I know it well, that I must be biased because I'm flying with whoever I'm flying with. And I tell you, if I had an ISK for every time I've been called that, I would already have my cap. But I'm told that I only put my own slant on things. I don't do actual journalism to get the story. Now, let me just put this out there for everyone. If you have something that you want on the news from your organization, all you have to do is contact me and tell me about it so I can look it up and make sure everything checks out and put it on the show. If I don't know about it, I can't air it. And that leads right into the story of a Boop carrier that was attacked and tackled by a Myth fleet. Now, unfortunately, this Myth fleet did not take down that carrier, as it was able to fend itself off and wipe completely the Myth fleet trying to kill it. So it just goes to show you that not more ships always equals a victory. And another story, RETC also lost a carrier to Boop as well, while that carrier was trying to hold a shield timer on a pause. Now, this RETC carrier, worth $35.4 billion, or ISK, sorry, it's been a long day. Anyway, it was taken out by a defensive fleet of 17. Now, this was one of 9 caps that was brought forth to bear against this lowly boss, who were able to save the timer, I believe. So good on Boop for a good defensive fleet and the killing of a carrier. Fast forward a day later, and another RETC and Myth fleet go to attack another boss whose sole defender was a Revelation, who was subsequently killed, and that Revelation was worth 54.2 billion ISK. I am told that RETC left the POS timer up so that it would regenerate because they can. That was a direct quote. So things are moving slowly in Fountain as both sides exchange cap for cap. Now, with the war that's going on in Fountain, some have said that basically it is aligned with the Grand Server War itself because of the attacks that are happening against a Crab Company ally, and how RETC and Myth must be in league with Silent and coordinating these attacks. That is a popular conspiracy theory. There, I said it. Goddamn. All right, moving on. Yes, I'm doing this as a one take. There is no going back and re-recording. That being said, I can see how that is, as if you look at Myth and their diplomatic sheet, they are friendly to several agents of Silent Federation, such as Starcats. But I wanted to put this to bed, so I did contact Zen, the leader of the Silent Federation, and ask him point blank to give me a statement if RETC, Myth, and any of those people are involved in the server war or in league with Silent themselves. He states, on the Fountain War, I can only speak on behalf of Silent in this topic. The ongoing war between RETC and Myth and Boop has been ongoing since before the beginning of the recent server war against us. As much as others might want to pursue some conspiracy theories that RETC is a proxy of Silent, they are not. And on the Mattarella topic, about him being in RETC, it should have came to no surprise that Mattarella would participate alongside an organization that we have both helped build together for over a year. To see folks with the largest group in the game massing who knows how many regions, threatening to use all of their forces against a single corporation, and actually showing up on grid against a single corp and one alliance shows how they got their label of the Coward Coalition. He also goes on to talk about the server war itself. This server war is a challenging conflict, and as Silent, we are rising to the challenge. Our pilots and forces are doing a phenomenal job keeping pace and tempo with the COCO forces, which encompass over 50% of the nullsec population. I'm proud of all the Silent Federation pilots who have done just a hands-down amazing job fighting our enemies all over New Eden. And we've said it in the past and we'll say it again. FAFO. Now let's move over to the grand server war that is happening. Now there was some things that happened during the last week that kind of ground everything to a halt in the good banter that was to be had in this war. And that was accusations of racism, nationalism, and real-life politics injected into the war by the Crab Company's own ZRQ, SOS, and AOA. So much so that the leader of KOFR has put out a very lengthy statement, as they claim that the leaders of ZRQ and XM are basically calling all foreigners dogs and pigs and taking it out on anyone who is not Chinese. They feel that Chinese pilots should fly with only Chinese pilots. In fact, there was accusations of hatred against those that were following Saku, a Japanese organization, and the Asian department in the +8 group of Silent Federation. In layman's terms, before I get to the actual statement, they feel embarrassed about the actions being displayed by ZRQ, SOS, and AOA. This is the KOFR leadership, and that their CEO a few minutes ago said that not all Chinese think this way, and the reason that we play on the international server and not the Chinese one is because we enjoy teamwork and playing with other cultures. The leader of KOFR states that it's nice to meet everyone. He is the CEO of Fire Nare. I am Chinese. I love my country. The name just means like I like Nara, but please don't attack me with what we're just going to get on to the actual statement. He basically says that after No was disbanded, the +8 members of the North rebuilt the Fire Alliance in order to protect all players who wanted to stay in the North from being able to enjoy the entire game without becoming part of an empire. Azure and I have a friendly communications, but the leaders of ZRQ, AOA, and SOS continue to threaten us, Northern +8 players, trying to force us to become part of his empire in various ways. I have many screenshots of his threats, but I'm not going to publish them to protect my client. I've been playing EVE for 16 years since 2006, and I've seen a lot of power change. New Eden has been a dynamic change, which I think is an interesting process. This process provides fun for all of us and allows us all to enjoy PvP. But that doesn't mean we tolerate imperialism and racism. I love my country. Japan and China have a deep historical story. I can understand the anger, including myself sometimes, especially when I see those Sino-Japanese war videos. But flying together in a game doesn't mean we have forgotten history. ZRQ seems to forget that when he used racism to the channel of hatred of +8 players. Saku was once a member of Fireflies, and Saku also helped Fireflies defend Sav. ZRQ was once Firefly's PvP fleet. We can't allow ZRQ to double tag and try to distinguish us by racism. He openly threatens to help Saku or +8 players in Silent are worse than pigs and dogs not Chinese. Racism should not exist and should not be used as a form of aggression in games. Because this time is Japan, next time it's America or some other country, and it will come back to us. In the game, we should respect everyone and do the best of ourselves. Mankind has long been a community of shared future. I hope we are here to enjoy the game, not to be threatened, ruled, discriminated against, and to be part of ambition and empire. China is a peace-loving and loving country. Most of us have good intentions. In World Server, we enjoy flying with players from all time zones, which is why we chose the World Server. Fire will not be trying to be an empire. We just want a piece of land for our pilots to farm and enjoy PvP. We will never be an empire. He goes on to say that this is my first time posting my comments on Reddit. If there is anything inappropriate, please let me know. Translators may not be very friendly. So, of course, due to these allegations and the screenshots that have been shown many times on Reddit with the leaders of ZRQ, AOA, and SOS stating that people are dogs, I had to go to the source. I had to talk to the leadership of the Crab Company to see what they felt about these allegations. But I also want to set the record straight because Meliodas told me that in the last video we did talk about EEchoes, the fight for it back, how Care Bears got it back, and there was a defensive fleet. I'm told there actually was no defensive fleet and that they were not defending EEchoes. He says, we literally took a break that day and had scepters, etc. running to see their form up. There was zero defense whatsoever for that salve. It was a fun take. So I do want to put that correction out there as well. But on the matter of the racism and nationalism, Meliodas, on behalf of Brethren Court, states, I can say I and all of Brethren Court are completely against racism and xenophobia. I myself are a member of color and a minority in the US and do not like comments and actions that are racist and xenophobic. That's me making a general comment as leader of Brethren Court. Other alliances can have their own opinion. The coalition, however, is made of people from every race, nation, color, and that's one amazing place to be in. And hope being part of a coalition, everyone sees the good in multinational, multicultural gameplay, and that the brotherhood we can form. However, it's a coalition for a very particular goal, and matters outside of that goal isn't going to change the coalition's membership. We are fighting silent, and that matters not regarding that isn't related to the coalition. So by that statement, he is not condoning the actions by those groups, but on the same instance, he's not going to tell anyone how to live or play the game. We'll have to wait to see till after the war is over what fallout comes from these statements made by AOA, SOS, and ZRQ. Moving on, just because it's the holiday season does not mean that the war is put on hold. I'm told that there was several attacks on Silent Federation structures on Christmas Day by the Crab Company. I reached out to Zen, to the leader of Silent Federation, asking him how the holiday went. He says the holidays went well. Our pilots celebrated by destroying a few coward coalition capitals and enjoying some time with their loved ones over the holiday. We're firing up some offensive operations and reinforced about 25 citadels in the south. Lots of fun to be had, like killing capitals with an interceptor swarm. Sorry, I'm a little tongue-tied today. I am proud of the work our teams and the time they've been putting in is just impressive. More action will be inbound. And as you can see here, they were able to kill a Crabco Thanatos worth 32.9 billion. Now I'm also told that there was a massive fight in the north. I believe that happened on the 26th. The newly formed alliance of Mildly Dead dropped capitals to take silent citadels. I'm told the results were an hour-long fight across two different systems. Two Tech 2 citadels were in toast. 59 silent fleet ships were wiped. Approximately about 28 billion. And they also were able to kill one of the Mildly Dead carriers. That one worth 34.6 billion. All in all, I'm told it was much fun to be had, and it looks like to be just about an even exchange of ISK lost. Well, maybe a little bit more with the, if you count the citadels and toast. Now, I did also reach out to Ozur, sorry. I know he's gonna hate me for mispronouncing his name again. But he gave me an update on that attack that did happen on Christmas. He says that the Crab Co. called for an all-hands CTA to take action against 7 silent defensive timers set for 0100 and 0200 UTC on the 26th in Declan. This is just a general update. This, I guess, is not the Christmas attack. Again, I'm still suffering from holiday brain. So, again, just take everything with a grain of salt and bear with me here. So, Crab Co. formed up 500 pilots and entosed all 7 silent citadels in Declan. The silent CTA comms population spiked with about 90 in comms and shipped into interceptors and ABCs. Silent did find and kill 1 coalition dread from the NVS Corporation, whose pilot had either disconnected or presumably fallen asleep. Despite all the posturing, it seems that both sides are pleased with the results of the CTA. He goes on to say that he looks forward to next week when we presume Silent will form more fully to defend new timers and attempt to attack these timers. And something else happened this week. That's right. Colt, Tahini, and other ex-No pilots have regrouped to form a new mercenary outfit called Equilibrium. I'm told that they are a small group, around 400 pilots, and they want to fly like the old days. They follow their religious leader Colt in the old ways of piracy, while he sits atop his throne of plunder from the No days. He says, not much more to say than that. I'm lucky to have managed to fly with some of the best and brightest in this game has ever seen. Many of the old guards stuck around to see where this new path will take us. Well, one of those paths is along the side of Silent Federation, as they assist Silent in defending some of the whole timers as well as going on attack. This new coalition between Silent Federation and Equilibrium, I believe, is now dubbed the Demolition Coalition. Again, there was another massive fight today between the Crab Company as well as Silent Federation, now the Demolition Coalition. This battle kicked off in K4 Tech RFZ, and it featured over 700 players. Now, like any big battles that are to be had, even though they are rare these days, lag and black screens were reported. In this massive battle, both sides deployed capital ships of around 20 to 30 plus per side. I'm told the aftermath of the battle itself resulted in 720 billion destroyed total in that system. Now, this fight was to defend several hull timers that were set days ago against the Space Cows. The offensive itself didn't work out so well for the Demolition Coalition due to heavy losses taken on their side. However, they were able to kill a Tech 1 Corporation Citadel in a different system, this system 8WA Tech Z6. Now, I've spoken to many people, and some pilots said it worked great, they had no lag, it was crisp, it was clear, and then I talked to others who say the exact opposite. In fact, fellow content creator Rambo from the Echoes of New Eden podcast was at the fight, and he shared a video of himself which basically didn't show anything loading up on his screen, and then just massive death after death after death. I have an official statement from Tahini saying that concerning our recent battle in K4, all our +8 dreadnoughts were unable to activate modules, receive fleet commands, or jump gates. All kills made by the Dread fleet were by the EU part of our fleet. The +8 guys could not lock or shoot. Anyways, respect to the CC for jumping into that. Anyways, it takes bravery, and I commend their FC for taking the risk. And as you can see from the screenshots, it's just a beautiful mass of death. I should have a video also playing at some point during this report as well. In a unofficial statement through the Gulag, so you have to take this with a pinch of salt, Michael JD did say that, as an official statement from them, that they didn't want those caps anyway, and they were already replaced. Now, this does change the landscape of this war if you look at the statistics, which we are now, these are the live statistics for today, 12/30 2022, And take note that we reported about 3 corporations had left the Silent Federation over the last week. That number has now risen to, I believe, between 11 and 13. EEchoes Mobi did have a portion which would show corporations leaving the war, leaving out, but they hasn't been updated since then. But let's get right down to the live statistics. And the Demolition Coalition total kills is 6,920, just shy of a total ISK value of 6 trillion. They have 5.9 trillion ISK in damages done. Their ship kills include 2,455 frigates, 458 destroyers, 1,037 cruisers, 1,317 battle cruisers, 1,147 battleships, 339 industrial ships. On the capital ship front, we are looking at 22 carriers dead and 5 dreadnoughts killed. On the structure side, we see 43 outposts killed by them and 3 Tech 1 citadels. However, when we look at the Crab Company statistics, they have surpassed that ISK value gap. They now have a total kill count of 7473, with a total ISK damage kill count of 6.2 trillion. Their ship kills include 3,272 frigates, 505 destroyers, 864 cruisers, 1,018 battle cruisers, 1,164 battleships, 330 industrial ships. On the capital ship front, they have killed 10 carriers and 15 dreadnoughts. This is including that massive battle today. On structure side, they are at 205 outposts destroyed, 15 Tech 1 citadels destroyed, 33 Tech 2 citadels captured, and 14 Tech 3 citadels captured. So yes, the momentum has shifted in favor of the Crab Company now. You know, we had our first ever Skype call with the mods and the content creators with the developers of the game, and they gave us a look into the future as we were able to ask questions on what is coming over the next year to EEchoes. Now, you may have heard some of this on Rambo's podcast, The Echoes of New Eden. You may have seen snippets here and there, but I'm going to tell you exactly the notes I took, and this is what I took away from that meeting. First, they welcomed everyone to the call and gave general introductions to everyone, and then we got into what is coming next. So, next month in January, there's going to be some new events. There's actually a player-driven event where you can design a future ship. That's right, if you design a ship and it gets chosen, that ship will then get implemented in the game, and that's cool, right? You can design a ship and then it gets picked and you get to fly that ship later on down the road. I think that's a great thing. Now, they also tell us that more dormant realms will be coming with higher difficulties and more rewards, as well as small ship content. I know a few pilots will be very excited about small ship content within these dormant realms. Now, they also said that new implants will be coming, and they're going to try and get some industrial implants along the way. They just don't know how to work them right now, aside from mining implants. Now, we did ask about the capital nanocores. Now, they did want to say that these capital nanocores will only be during the Interstellar Bazaar. So like the Cyber X, the Illusionary Ghost, the Neon Rain, you're not going to see them on your Concord store at all. They're only going to be through these events. And obviously going to cost you an arm and a leg. Now, there was asked, is there going to be any new content for low-sec coming? And they basically said there's no plans right now for any kind of low-sec content. They did say that, however, coming up will be new fighters, new rigs, new capital rigs, as well as the new dormant realms and new implants, as we got into before. But definitely new capital rigs in the future. We did ask the almighty question about moon mining. And they said, yes, it is coming. This is going to be a new way of getting materials. It's a new material. It's not going to be like the EVE Online version of moon mining. They're dumbing it down. They're going to make it more simplified for you to get this new material. And this new material is going to be used for new ships. And wait for it. That's right. Boosters are coming to the game. So this is going to be a great thing. If you didn't know what boosters are in EVE Online, they're drugs, basically, that can enhance your pilot's performance. Now, these are also expendable items. In other words, you don't have to buy one and you have it forever. This is going to be a way to kind of help out industry, as you can just, like drones, you know, you lose drones in PvP and such like that. You know, this is going to be a way of doing that, of making these items available. Now, I did ask them basically for a timeline on this, because you know how they always like to say coming soon, and you know, some things they've been saying coming soon for the last 3 years. But they tell me that this itself, the moon mining and the boosters, all in the new ships, basically they're all coming before June. We did also ask about an API, and they said they are trying to develop it, but they keep hitting the problem due to privacy issues based out of China, and it's more complex than they thought. So we're definitely going to have an API, but it's not going to be until basically the second half of 2023. I also asked about T4 Citadels. You know, when are we going to get T4 Citadels? They said with T4 Citadels, they're actually going to be releasing them. They're going to get buffs for new players. I'm going to get into that on what the buffs for the new players are. But the corp size will increase. So you're no longer going to be, you know, capped out. I think it's at 500 right now for a corp. They're going to be raising that. Now, I also asked about more SOV points, because one corporation can only hold 5 points of SOV, and with them bringing in new structures and everything else, you're running out of energy, you're running out of places to put these things. So yes, they will be granting corporations more area to get SOV. So hopefully, maybe double. I would like to see corporations be able to have maybe 10 systems max. And of course, they're also going to allow more energy and more anchor points for these citadels and that update. Now, when I said buff to new players, now the way we approached this was about revamping the tier system, and how when a new player comes in, they can't really, they don't feel like they can do anything, because it takes a long time to, you know, get into a battle cruiser or get into a battleship, so they kind of feel useless, you know, for the corp or for the alliance as a whole. So what they're doing is, instead of revamping that tier system, they're going to be releasing skill chips that has no tech level restriction on it, which will allow, say, like a T5 player to fly higher level ships than at a lower tier level. So in other words, they can fly battle cruisers or battleships with these things. Now, they won't be able to get into the actual battleship or battle cruiser, because they do need to be that tech level. They can train it beforehand with these skill chips, but to alleviate that problem, they will be releasing new trainer ships, which will go up to, say, battle cruisers and battleships. I know the trainer ships, but it's something, right? It's something. It's helping. Faction warfare will be coming back. The 1v1 challenges will be coming back. However, I believe this is only going to be as an event. It's not going to be coming back permanently. Now, this is when you were able to, you know, just call out someone in your alliance and just duel them, and it would take you to that instanced area where you can just fight one-on-one. Like I said, they're not going to bring that back fully. It's just only going to be for an event. I also asked about the Yongjun ships, since, you know, we've been told that they're coming since the game launched. That was their key point, how this is an Echoes only race, and it's exclusively to this, and all we've seen are 2 different ships. So yes, the Yongjun faction will be coming fully, and what they're waiting on now is just, they are wonder how they're going to package it, how they're going to release it. They want to put out a little bit more lore and missions about it, but they said that the resources are already ready and everything else for them. My thinking is that maybe you're going to need this new resource for moon mining to produce some of these Yongjun ships. Now, this call itself lasted about an hour and a half to hour 45 minutes. Now, this one question, I lost it. I'm sorry, I completely lost it. I fell out of my chair laughing so hard. The question was, when will we be able to name our ships? They said, and I quote, "We're halfway there." Halfway. 3 years. So by this count, in another 3 years, you'll be able to name your ship. And the last question that was asked, and the reason it was the last question asked, Mario asked the question about monetization and the direction that the game is going, because it cost, in the last event, 1900 AUR for 1 capital nanocore. They say that they will be adjusting the price based on the history of that price, and they'll be thinking of other ways to optimize the pricing system so it doesn't hurt the wallet so much. But right after that, they ended the call. So after the monetization question happened, they shut down the rest of the Q&A and ended the call. So I thought that was lovely. Also, one of the other content creators, Joe Joseph, has put out a great chart. And if you're interested in more of these charts, follow the Discord link in the description below. It'll take you to the Spreadsheets Wizard Discord. Now, what this chart shows is basically all the dangerous places in EVE. And this is gathered by all the information from EEchoes.mobi. And it goes by the ISK destroyed in the last 30 days. Now, this breakdown goes from system to constellation and just to the region itself. So in the first 3 spots for system, the first system is MTech OEE8, and that's Tribute. And that's 444 billion ISK in damages. Next is C-Tech N4OD, and that's in the Satyr constellation in Fountain, with 324 billion ISK damaged killed. And the last position, the third position, is in Aquarius Z-Tech UZZN, and that's in the constellation, looks like F-Tech RA63, with 320 billion ISK in damages done. Now, when you swap over to just the constellation itself, it only changes up a little bit. Tribute still in first, Fountain still in second, and the new third is Pureblind with 487 billion ISK in damages in the constellation of YS Tech GOP. And when you go to just the region itself, it goes to Branch, then Declan, and the Tino. So basically, everything that's happening in the north in the server war in the last 30 days, those regions are a hotbed. Again, I love these kind of charts that are put forth. And like I said, if you want to see more of these, jump on over to that Discord. Now, before we get into what the fit and the big kills and the solo kills and all that, I just want to give out a heartfelt thank you to the entire community. We here at the channel have hit over 4,000 subscribers. I didn't think that this channel would grow as much when I first made it. It was a hobby. It still is a hobby of mine. And I love the fact that you guys are supporting me all this time. And I have nothing but gratitude for you and the community. Alright, so let's get right into what the fit. Now, I'm no expert by any stretch of the imagination on hauling fits, but I don't believe that remote reps are a part of the current meta, as shown here on this Nereus. Now, I also think that the Afterburner might not get the job done for a ship of this size. Now next we have a Logi ship that can't decide what it wants to be, as it has 1 torpedo launcher, 2 medium missiles, 1 medium rapid, a small snub, and a large pulse to round it out. Now, the only thing that is decided is that this pilot really does not want to be a Logi pilot. And yes, now I know that the price has really dropped on fractioned frigates, so that is the only reason that I can fathom for this exploration succubus. Now, that and it probably just really wants to track things down and kill them. Now, before we get into the big kills, I do have some honorable mentions. First goes out to this kill here. Now, it isn't expensive, however, we're not looking at the kill itself, we're looking at what it lost. It was a Oracle, but in its hull, what it was carrying was a fully upgraded level 6 Balgorn Ascension Core. Now, I do know that costs quite a bit of money, real life, to upgrade this thing. And the funny thing is, the Oracle itself wasn't even fit. It was actually being used as a transport unit. So, honorable mention to that. And a shout out to a frequent pilot who shows up on the solo kill boards almost every week, Sharika Daryl, who has gotten his 999th kill on his Dramule. So congratulations out to you, and please keep that ship away from me. Going into the big kills, Nilf starts us off with a 24.8 billion Macarial kill. We also have a 5.6 billion Balgorn kill by them as well. The Brethren Court gives us a 9.9 billion Vindicator kill, a 15.7 billion Obelisk Freighter kill, and a 17.1 billion Barghest kill. Mug gives us a 15 billion Charon Freighter kill, as well as a 15.2 billion Balgorn kill. Silent gives us a 9.9 billion Macarial kill, as well as twin Balgorns, one at 8.6 billion, the other at 11.5. AAA Ad Astra gives us a 6 billion Balgorn kill, as well as a 6.6 billion Ashimu kill. And finishing this week in the big kill section is RETC with 2 Orca kills, one at 8 billion, one at 8.3. Now, small story here, I was told that these were going to be solo kills. The pilot fought it to be solo kills, but the Orca pilots decided to rep each other during the fight, so a grievance has been put in for that. Now, I know there's been a lot of death and destruction out there due to the server war, but on the big kills list, I'm just looking for the small gangs. I'm not really reporting on those big blink kills, unless it was super big, during these big battles. Now, let's move right into the cap kills of the week. Now, these are caps that weren't featured already in other stories. We have Nilfgaard killing another Rorqual, this one at 119.7 billion ISK. It's just obscene, the amount of ISK. Just imagine what's going to happen when we see some of those faction carriers killed, huh? And Beasts of the South, part of the Silent Federation, is doing their thing, and they got themselves 7 Nidhogger kills. We're going to read them right off here. 35.1 billion, 34.1 billion, 36.1 billion, 35.8 billion, 33.2 billion, 32.9 billion, and finishing off with a 35.1 billion. Alright, now we're going to get to everyone's favorite part of the show, your chance to win a free Omega combo, courtesy of the solo kill contest. Now, we've broken this down into 2 categories, one in industrial, one in PvP. Now, remember that the Omegas that you win, these are in a pool of Omegas for all content creators. So if you have won something from my show or someone else's show, you're not going to be able to receive another one on that character. That's the little loophole here, on that character for 30 days. Because we all submit these Omegas that are given out by the devs to give out, and they all go into a spreadsheet. So, unfortunately, all these Omegas are in one gigantic pool. So, let's start us off right now with numbers, with a 3.7 billion Outpost kill. Raijin DWL with a 4 billion Orca kill. Ron Solo comes in with a 4.3 billion Orca kill. Neshig with a 5.1 billion Outpost kill. Kaiser Soze with a 5.2 billion Outpost kill. Badran gives us a 5.5 billion Nereus 2 kill. Airbus A380-800 gives us a 6.3 billion Sigil 2 kill. D-Bagel gives us a 11 billion Sigil 2 kill. The Samulay gives us a 15.2 billion Corporation Citadel kill. You thought that was going to win, didn't you? But beating that one out, and the winner in the industrial category is X-Pac with a 16.7 billion Sigil 2 kill. Moving right into the PvP category, we have the Bright One with that 796 million Succubus kill. Wu 1 with a 1.7 billion Abaddon kill. Sharika Dariel gives us a 5.4 billion Vindicator kill. Phoenix 42 BJ gives us a 5.6 billion Hyperion kill. Mystery Meow gives us a 6.2 billion Dominix 2 kill. And the winner this week in the PvP category is Violet 58 Brian with a 8.4 billion Atron 2 Interceptor kill. Congratulations on winning the contest. Hit me up in Discord and I'll tell you exactly how I'm going to get that prize out to you. And that's going to be our show for this week. I appreciate you coming. Remember, if you do need more news in your life or just EVE content in general, I'm going to send you to a couple places. First of all is the Echoes of New Eden podcast with Rambo and Taylor Rick. Now, the season has ended right now, and it's going to kick off next week in the new year. Be sure to look out for it. It's a great time to be had by all. They are moving to a new time. It's going to be 6 p.m. MST time. Don't ask me what the UTC time is. We all know I'm UTC stupid. But it's going to be great to see what they're going to offer in the new season. Also, be sure to check out New Eden Radio every Sunday. They have a great program there where everyone just gets together, listens to music, talks about EEchoes as well as EVE Online, news, interviews, you name it. It's a great time to be had by all. And also, I also want to say that this show has also been sponsored, well, not really sponsored, but a lot of the statistics that we've been getting has been gotten from EEchoes.Mobi. So go ahead, check them out. Put the bot on your Discord server so you can stay up to date with all the kill statistics that are going on in this massive server war that we all are part of. And with that, that's our show. I want you guys to have a great New Year's. Have a great weekend. Have a great week. Fly safe. And remember, we're always one vision, one purpose, one front.